Well met, lords and ladies. Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... this if you remember the last parts that we kind of did from Jazaxiee, it was a while ago. I said before that I was going to do a Mother's Day compilation or Jazaxiee video yesterday, and so that happened to be the Mother's Day one because, you know, based on like how tired I was. Guess what? I've been recovering since then, actually properly for real. So, you know, things things are looking relatively decent in that sense. But yeah, oh, I see what happened here. Sorry, sorry. If you can tell, I'm a little bit scattered because I was trying to import something and I saved it in the wrong location. So that's why I was like, okay, well, what's going on here? But yeah, I've sorted it now. Because yeah, I thought it would be important to like address like the actual info behind this video first. But anyway, because yeah, like the actual first part of this has an announcement, you know, as one of those things was like, okay, someone's trying to disclaim certain things, and to be honest, the disclaimer actually raises further questions than it really answers in this particular instance. You'll see what I mean in a second. But yeah, what I was saying before, in comparison to the I finished now, so I'm actually properly coherent. In comparison to the part 1 of 2 that seemed to be before, we talked about last time we reviewed a Jazaxiee video. This one actually does have an obvious conclusion because the other one, Find Me There, doesn't seem to. For whichever reason, maybe it's because again, it might just still be like another thing in the future, much like the Friendless game conclusion that Jazaxiee is now somewhat hyped to do. This one did actually have a conclusion, so we are going to see at least this particular series through to the very end, in whatever way that may look. And that's going to be important phrasing once we get to the later parts of this particular installment. But first of all, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and boot this up. And before I get to say, you know, the thing that I've prepared for this, or not I prepared, but I've sourced for this, let's see what Jazaxiee, you know, herself had to say about this matter. Let's go ahead and see. Without further ado, on with the review.
Hi. Before the video starts, I want to clarify this mini-movie will be...
Yeah, this is the first thing I was curious about. The use of text-to-speech when, you know, Jazaxiee's whole channel started and, you know, is still going to this day based on voice-acted content. I guess maybe this is before they felt like comfortable being on camera, or not being on camera, but, you know, being recorded, I guess, which is a very interesting point in a lot of gacha tubers particularly, but YouTubers at large as careers, you know, where they're willing to hire other people because, you know, people would be more inclined than them in some instances, versus, I guess, you know, taking that step and that leap forward themselves. You know, they're you know, you acquire the people who are, you know, confident in areas that you yourself are not sometimes. A bit like me. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can sort of see that. Obviously, we are far from that state today because obviously the last video that Jazaxiee made was the one dedicated to me. So yeah, we're past that point now. But it's just a curious thing. It's like, oh yeah, a lot of people do start off this way. Anyways, this mini movie will be
cut into parts. I don't know how much parts, but I'm going...
You mean how many parts?
To assume 3 to 6 parts.
Two things about that. First of all, you know, I'll say this. This is something that you don't learn when you learn English as a first language, where you do as a second. Much and many. The reason that we use much or many is because we use much for nouns that are not countable. So things like money. And we use many for things that are countable, like dollars. You know, you can have $1, many dollars, or you could have, but you can't have one money, two money. Yes, that's why you use much money. Fun fact. So yeah, many parts. As for 3 to 6 parts, the answer to that is that there are 4 parts, at least from what I have seen. So, that prediction was very much accurate.
Be aware this script was made around August or September and has some really cringy moments, so bear.
Okay, so yeah, the August and September thing. So this video came out February 15th, 2021. So I'm guessing August, September 2020. And yeah, this actually goes back to something that I used to see quite a lot in the gacha community. Not so much anymore, but the idea that because something was written months ago, that your writing prowess like evolves so quickly that that even something even the video that was uploaded like a month ago, depending on the person that you are / were at the time, could seem like a whole, it could seem like light years away. And I was very curious because I had this channel for about 5 years before discovering Gacha in the first place, or being introduced to Gacha. So the idea of the 2 Gacha tubers that introduced me to the whole community, saying like, oh yeah, this video that they're watching, yeah, bear in mind I made this a month ago, and I made a whole meme out of that, a whole running gag of like, oh, it's a month ago, I've changed so much. So yeah, this was several months ago, and potentially the same thing might apply. There is more credibility, I think, to the idea of your writing evolving from the span of what would it have been like 5-ish months off the top of my head, compared to simply 1. Because yeah, I mean, especially because like Jazaxiee has disclosed like what age they were at the time of this video. So yeah, I can actually see, like a lot of stuff going into, the old prefrontal cortex at that particular moment. So yeah, I buy this a little bit more. And I'm guessing it was left the way that it was because the voice actors already recorded their lines, and the idea was to not necessarily, have them keep coming back again. Because to some extent, I can also understand not doing that, because I mean, aside from my gripes with the formatting of Reddit and Studios, basically constantly, not constantly, but like every now and then retweaking the script and having the voiceover to come back and repeat stuff they've already done because it's not highlighted one way or the other. I talked about this in a previous video. As much as I complain about that, some people will just be like, okay, I'm not going to bother these people again. And also, I did see I watched further into this announcement. What Jazz says about the voice actors in particular is also an indication of why this was not re-edited.
With me, but thankfully all the voice actors did an extraordinary job for their characters, so I think that just saves the whole mini-movie.
Okay, the whole mini-movie. I don't know why the text-to-speech read it out like that, but there you go. Maybe it's because it was corrected later when the captions came up on screen. I have no idea how that was executed. Yeah, but again, so back to what I was saying about the concept of like changing, because like to some degree, especially if you're working on something for, I guess, months in this case, or even years like Red Legend Studios, you're going to end up dissatisfied to some degree with what you've done before. And, again, as somebody who, does annual remakes of existing material, there's definitely an element of regret based on like, a few of the beats that could have been handled a little bit better, or stuff that, I could absolutely do now. And most of the time, I do not cave into the urge to correct these things. The only time that I did was adding a deleted scene back into the remake of episode 5. And yeah, like because, well, partly because I was due to canonicity, I didn't want the Butterverse to suffer as a result, but also because you're always going to think that. You're always going to look back at your old work, especially if you're like, evolving and actively thinking about what you're doing as an artist. You're going to think, you're going to realize things you could have improved going forward. Anyone remember when the Percy Jackson TV show came out and people were talking about like all of the changes in that, myself included? Well, it was a thing that Rick Riordan actually was keen to alter some of the material. And yeah, bear in mind, there's a near 20-year gap between the release of the Percy Jackson books and the TV show. I imagine how much you would have like thought about in that time compared to what I think like, oh wow, I could have done this thing or whatever. Like that's obviously been a thing for in Rick's head for a long time. I can fathom that at this point. Not that I don't have stories that date 20 years back, because I absolutely do. Dumbo and the Storm being a prime example of that. But I regretted that one pretty much immediately, so doesn't count really. As for the voice actors, if they are meant to be the saving grace and they did an extraordinary job, again, we will of course have to be the judges of that. But it's good to put their faith in at the moment. Yeah. Should I hire voice actors to do the role of Celeste for my episodes? I think so, because I don't know. It depends, because obviously Celeste, is a computerized AI. I think there is some merit to not using text to speech for Celeste, because I've seen like there, because of the people like voicing characters who are themselves AI is a trope as old as at least the Jetsons, if not further back. So it's not out of the ordinary. And to be honest, there is like an element of playfulness that you can get depending on how you write the character from a human voice actor compared to a text to speech that's not easily replicated. So to be honest, yeah. If you're willing to, again, Bon is pointing out this, if you're willing to change your methodology of direction a little bit, that would be an ideal scenario. Otherwise, we're putting somebody else through that, vortex of doom that we were trapped in for some time. Which, to be fair, that was partially due to the fact that at the time, Tamsin did not have Discord. That was another extra layer on top of already having to organize like a bunch of stuff. So now it would technically be easier. But yeah, Jacob Butter as everyone. Yeah, like going back to what I said before about people being willing to to offer up their own voices for their voice actor projects. Obviously, I started out not started out, but I started out in Gacha with my own projects being like the extra characters that I didn't want to just cast other people, because I didn't know that many people on Discord at the time, or people would be willing to help out. I was in drama school at the time, so I could have asked my other actor friends, but given that the series continued for as long as it did and is still going, I'm not in contact with any of those people anymore. So that would have been a nightmare to arrange. I kind of thought that, because I was like 2 months away from graduating essentially. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, like and then after that, once the community started, I was like, oh yeah, I will. Why not? Let's go. Let's lock in. And yeah, here we go. Known for versatility. So you never know. Again, there's definitely merit to overcoming the text to speech YouTuber phase if you are currently in said phase. But to each their own. I see as Kamiko Snyder, who the main characters, I voice the main character, but also don't. Yeah, well, see that. There we go. Again, Bod is another great example of somebody who did not start out, super confident in their own voice, but now voices, I believe, 4 people in Secrets of the Plex at the moment. Possibly more in the future. Never know. Never know how this is going to go. That's twice as many as I do. So take that for what you will.
By all means, enjoy.
Okay, now I haven't seen the rest of it. Oh wait, actually, hold on. One more thing that I forgot to. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna show the description after a little bit. Okay, so bear in mind that was the disclaimer at the beginning of this video. Let's see where this goes for now. Okay. Nice logo. It was only a screen for a few seconds, so here we go. All right then. All right. I'm not a huge graphic design judge, so I can't really say one way or the other. I'm surprised. There seems like an outline, like a transparent white, formally white outline over the top of this text. Is almost like that was partially removed, but not entirely. That's the only thing that I would have kind of changed in this design outright. Because again, I'm not an expert. Yeah, noses 10 out of 10, absolute cinema. Yeah, this does strike me as, the Gacha life snouts that you would give to animal characters. But the one thing I appreciate, speaking of animal characters, no visible human ears for the time being. You know, jury's still out, but we'll see. I don't know if this is copyrighted or not, so I'm just going to mute this. Oh no! Voiced by the Wall Street Journal. Oh god. Oh no. You already destroyed PewDiePie. What more will you take from us? They didn't destroy PewDiePie. He bounced back. Anyways, oh whoa, all these people. Okay, all right. Good guy Whammin's dragon memes. These are the most online usernames I've ever seen. Also, yeah, so here we go. So see, the human character does not have a nose. So unfortunately, we haven't got that aspect, but the animal character's still hiding them, so yeah. Oh wait, 4 ears. Did I miss a 4 ears? Did I miss a 4 ears? Let me see. Was a character that fell. Oh, I mean, I see a little bit of human ear peeking from here, but I mean, other than that, I don't really see any 4 ears moments here. Oh wait, no, okay, so I missed the character who was like wearing the cap. Okay, I thought like that was meant to be. I didn't see the other ears on top. I was looking at the human ears. I didn't realize like, oh yeah, it's got the animal ears as well. Okay, yep, there we go. The antithesis is what we were talking about here. No snouts on the other characters either, so there's only one person that gets them, I guess. So, yeah, there you go. Well, we were close. Poor Thomas, I guess, as voiced by Dragon memes. Mechanic is a great name, actually. That one I like. It's honestly. Would be great to have 4 ears. I mean, I don't know. Watch Encanto again, see how Dolores has to live, and then you might think differently. Anyway, so okay, Dear Queen, Mac Attack. Again, some people really know how to choose an online username. I'll say that much. Kaku and Lightstar. Okay. Also, I guess these characters don't get names, I suppose. That would be Aiden's, peeve in this particular instance. Yeah, no one's getting these. By the way, okay, I'm gonna unmute the music because I really want to make a point here. Let me see if it's still going. All right. Oh no! Please don't hurt me. I'm so bruised and battered and bittered and crying my eyes out. La 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 la. Ba 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 ba. Don't know the words. Doesn't. Maybe I would have chosen a little bit of a more upbeat portrayal of this particular character, unless literally every scene about them is them getting bullied, which I'm hoping it isn't. So, there you go. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Mac with a CK. I forgot about that. Yeah. Is it copyrighted? I don't know, but I unmuted just to make a point about the music, because I was like, they can't still be playing the same. Yeah, of course, they're playing the same thing. It's the intro. Anyway. Yeah, this now matches a lot more. Like, that energy, definitely more appropriate, I suppose. Look at my nails. Check them out. Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess the school forklift is here. Not forklift. Doesn't have anything on the front, but it just looks like it. Okay, this is like 2 years after Aphmau did the whole explosion thing. So yeah. All right then. Jacob in public be like, what? You think I just go around to people just like, check out my knees, yeah. Okay, the bus crackles into oblivion. All right, I think now we're in the actual episode. No, we're still introducing characters. All right. No wonder this is 4 parts, actually. This is some forward planning. At the very least, you've got to give credit for that. In fact, I think actually, if you look at the description, which I will now put on the screen, yeah, 15 out of 86 pages. Normally, there was a pinned comment that said stuff like, oh yeah, by the way, this took 1,000-ish screenshots or, all that nonsense. But yeah, 86 pages of an actual script. Yeah, that is impressive at the best of times, but even still, like, it does show this was like all prepared in advance, which even I don't prepare like multiple parts of episodes in advance all the time. I do sometimes. It depends. Mostly because I like the spontaneity behind it, but I do appreciate the other the other side. So yeah, I'll read the rest of it later. For now that's all to concern ourselves with. It's diabolical. Thank you very much. I'm not saying it isn't. It's just that everyone talks about how many screenshots a video is, like it's a sign of quality. I'll read the pinned comment if you want. Even though nobody asked, the whole video was 1,443 screenshots. Now imagine how much screenshots, again, countable, many screenshots, it will be when the rest of the mini-movie comes out. Which, yeah. Also, apparently there's a thing that says here, people who came from totally not Krista. I forgot somebody else got to Jazaxiee before I did, as far as featured content, I think. So I have to check out Totally Not Krista at some point. But yeah, for now, all right. It's not a sign of quantity. It's a sign of it's a sign of quality. It's a sign of quantity. That's all it is. My shimmering husband was thousands of screenshots long. That's all I'll say. Yeah. Yep, more bruised and beaten characters who I hopefully will have more scenes in this. The one thing I'm concerned about, of course, now. Oh, okay, the Wall Street Journal is back. All right then. Wait, hold on. There was already an Aki character before this point, right? Oh, okay. Wait, Aki was the VA. All right, fair enough. I thought that was the, because I was like, oh yeah, Aki, voiced by Mac Attack, whatever. But no, it was voiced by Aki and Mac Attack. Yeah, got it. Okay. All right then. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, now, wow. Okay, that was very quick. Well, the logo linger a little bit, I think. But anyway, it's yeah. Last note. Why some notice some don't? I think it was again the idea of like the snouts existing. Like again, that was like largely a dying practice after the release of Gacha Club, because what will be the point anymore? But yeah, like it used to be the only kinds that had noses were the ones that would have like animal hybrids that would actively be using them as a way to differentiate them from the humans. But I don't know. Anyway.
I can't believe you're going to another school. I didn't think Elements had a school. You're lucky, man.
Okay, all right, fair enough. The Elements thing was addressed right at the beginning, because I was going to say from the disclaimer, it didn't seem like there was any interest in like clarifying what the show was about. Because of course, yeah, like, but here we actually do have something. So we have our main star Amaya transferred into a new high school in never seen a year that welcomes elements such as herself. Don't know what that means necessarily right now, but okay, elements in general exist. She befriends an assortment like this as well. She befriends an assortment of characters from friends, enemies, and possible love interests. She befriends her friends, doesn't she? Okay, then. All right. First step of school, she already knows what she's going to face, living heck, but yet again, she does not want to leave. I mean, again, a fair enough, end there, of course, despite the adversity of versus somewhere, if elements are discriminated against or something in this in this society, I guess the one place where you're actually accepted, even if it's not perfect, would be the ideal scenario for a character, at least from in their perspective. So yeah, she befriends enemies. I mean, you do befriend enemies, I guess, but if you're already calling a character a friend from before, it implies that you don't have to befriend them because they're already friends. That was the clumsy phrasing there. I think the idea was that she meets many characters from friends to enemies to love interests. That was the idea. But yeah, again. I started walking into McDonald's, started dancing on the front. The lady ordered food. What, do you think I'm the Pickle Rick guy? The one that like stood up on the on the table. I was like, "I Pickle Rick, and like that was not me. Your perception of me is very warped today, chats. I don't know what's going on. Anyway. Yeah, well, yeah, there it is. There it is.
I wouldn't say lucky, Sammy. I wouldn't be with you anymore.
Aw, I'll miss you too. We can still visit, you know.
It's
I thought Sammy was like would be the first love interest or something. It's like, I can't be with you anymore. Like that was their breakup. No, they meant like, be in company.
it's just so weird. I can't think of being with any other elements.
It is probably way more exciting than our school. Well, I mean your old school.
Meh, it's probably just the same. Just with different people.
Hey, don't let our friendship get in the way. This should be.
That'd be cool starting a series with a breakup. Check out Heart Point by Afmao. That series starts with a breakup. Or to be honest, I doubt that you would I doubt that you would get through the first episode without questioning your existence. So, check out the first episode of Heart Point and then, decide for yourself. Are you still in the room with us? What about Subway ambience? Are you in the room with us? Yeah, I guess the one layer sound is one layer sounding right now. Oh
A
well.
miracle for you. Didn't you want to be somewhere with people like you?
I did, but that was a long time ago.
You mean last week? Well, Amy, you're going to be okay. But here's the thing.
What's that?
You must FaceTime me every day so we will see each other every day.
Sounds easy.
Way to use every day twice in the same sentence. The script might have needed a little bit of revising. Maybe. People like you want an awkward conversation. Yeah, but obviously we know that she means other elements, like because that's the implication behind this. And again, I get like the impulse behind that because I mean, to be honest, like for like I'll say this, especially in both the UK and Spain. There weren't that many people growing up around me that looked like me in any way, shape, or form. Aside from my brother, obviously, but again, even he, we have like again, we have different origins, obviously, so that's not even like a one-to-one comparison. But yeah, like that's that like I get the idea behind that. I will say like at some points, especially in elementary school, even though I was in the US and there were more people, I was like, okay, I was like mildly curious, but by the time that I was integrated to Spain, it was like, yeah, I don't care anymore. People are people. What does it matter? I think that's probably why I also I also have, I guess, a unique-ish perspective on like how on how like people respond to representation, where people want to see characters that look like them in media, and I'm like, well, a character's not have to look like you to relate to you necessarily. I mean, look at look at the way that lots of black people like to claim Piccolo, despite the fact that he isn't black, and that's like a whole meme. It's for example. But yeah, aside from that one creative factor, it's like, yeah, I mean, again, I've been on both sides is my point here. So I get what she's trying to say, but again, clumsy phrasing. I'm going to say that a lot in this video. Clumsy phrasing, it seems. We did clumsy phrasing counter, maybe. I'm more like 3, potentially. Is there element phobia here? Again, that seems to be the case. If there's only one school that accepts elements, then it does seem like they're not treated the same way in society for one reason or another. That's just the vibe I'm getting right now. We'll see how true that is later. One question I have right now actually is does Amaya have any legal guardians that would be accompanying her on this journey aside from this best friend character? I don't know. We talk about representation here. Yeah, possible similar struggles, something I can relate to. Yeah, like that's the thing, because again, a character's struggles will be like independent of the way that they look or what origins the writers have assigned them. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if it's all about like the struggles and such, it's a case of people not necessarily looking as deep. But it's also on the other end of things. Sometimes it's a crutch that writers don't end up, trying as much because they don't feel the need to necessarily. So again, I get it from both perspectives. But yeah, my stance, of course, is always going to be, people are people. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make them look differently, but not for the sake of trying to relate to anyone specific. The whole Marmot conversation I had like 3 years ago with Monet was the proof of that much. Was it 3 years ago? It's like 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago.
Easy enough.
That's
Jeez.
not all. You have to tell me what happened. Maybe give me a picture of the people there.
That sounds like a stalker move, you creep.
Come
Mm.
on, Amy. I'm curious.
You're not even going, and you're more excited than me.
How can you not feel the same way? You've been bullied for so long, and now you will go someplace that will bring you in.
There we go. There it is. So I guess yeah, element phobia definitely a part of society.
Yeah, it's a dream come true. But you're not going to be there, which is a nightmare.
Aww.
Hmm.
Damn.
Maybe Sammy is to Amaya what Sokoline was to Marinette, if anyone understands that comparison.
Usually a 10-minute bus ride would be forever.
Wait, hold on. Did people just get on the train and immediately get out the other side of the doors? Why did we do that? Where did they go exactly? They just piled on and then went off into the tracks, I assume. It's a one-track station. Shortcut to the other. I have not seen anyone do that before, but I wouldn't put it past certain people on like the metro or something. Okay.
But that felt like 5 seconds.
Bye, Sam. You don't want to be late for your homeroom, don't you?
I would kill to be late and follow.
Again, it depends on like how the stations are outlined. And in most of the metro, it's a case of, you've got like 2 tracks. There's one train going one direction, one train going the other. And that's a lot of things like other traditional, like European train stations as well. They do that method. As for if it's one, okay, yeah. Again, it depends on how it's laid out. So I guess if it's common to have just one track, then yeah, that makes sense. Gonna send this to say this could be us, but you play. Okay, sure. I don't know if you mean the video necessarily, or the review. I guess the video because of the two of them there. I'm here. But yeah, I guess remember, be with you is totally platonic, obviously.
You to your school. Huggy?
Huggy.
This could be you and your crush. There you go. Huggy. Absolutely. Use this part if you're going to send it. You going to stay on the train? Nope. Okay, then.
No, really. You should really get going.
I'm guessing that was meant to be like like a character reacting to an element, because they're not they're probably not as commonly seen as well. Again, a literal minority, so you never know.
Right. I'm going to miss you, Amy. Bye.
Is this your stop? Nope.
Same here.
Oh, okay. We just have. Why can you not have that character sitting like the same part of the train? I know the idea of like, okay, there's different parts of the train, but I mean, you could have. I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't have been too much of an issue to have them already in the scene, potentially. It made the train feel a little bit less empty as well. Insert Flash running. I was thinking Speedy Gonzalez, but yeah, close enough. Don't question the Gacha logic because we do this in the Gachaverse. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't you mean? Hush! Don't question the logic. Oh, wait, I can't see the touch the way. Okay, there we go. There it is. Well, the text was going to block it, but there you go. The conductor never asked if this is my stop ever. Well, I mean, yeah, it depends if this is the conductor or not. He's wearing the cap, but yeah, I think it might just be trying to strike up conversation. Because again, this isn't like this. I mean, I guess he got his hand out, so maybe, but this doesn't look like that. Like the train cabin, it's just it just seems to be like another set of passenger seats. So we'll see.
I wonder how long of a drive Sorara Falls is. Hopefully
Or we will when
long
we see this
enough
character,
that
okay.
we'll be late.
You want to be late on your first day?
Hold on. It's gonna be a
Okay, what just happened? Okay, first of all, again, the character could have been on screen and reacted accordingly. Secondly, was she sitting on glass? That was a glass shattering sound effect. Which, by the way, multiple layers, so we have got the ambience here. This is a bus, I think, actually. Fair enough. Train, bus, whichever one, Well, actually, that's even worse. Actually, if that's the case, then why would someone get on the bus and then go off the bus immediately rather than just going round the bus? Anyway, but over from the intro. Fair enough. Yeah. All right then. Oh, you're making Code Lyoko in Gacha. I need to see that. Fantastic. I mean, that is my second favorite show of all time. So I will absolutely be intrigued on that. If I guess in Kodoka they didn't make the program, they just fought against it, but someone else made the program. Yeah. All right. At the other side of the sidewalk. What, compared to just walking behind and or in front of the stationary vehicle, you have to get up the vehicle and go down again. What's the point of that? That doesn't make sense to me. The train platform I can get behind. In the case of the bus, literally get behind it.
Wild ride.
Hey, watch out! There's a what?
I said hold on.
Is the bus actively collapsing right now? Why are they still holding on to each other? And again, what was the glass shattering there? The glass shattered, then suddenly she like fell, as if that was like holding a seat together. This is the if this is the bus crashing, this is the quietest bus crash I have ever heard in my life. It's like, oh no, we're tumbling. We're very, very tranquilly tumbling. Yeah, hold the handles. All buses have that. I can see them in frame. Yeah. Latest event ever. Good grief.
What? Wait, what happened?
I'm guessing you're new here to Serala Force.
Seems like it. She sweats
To
way
where?
too much.
Kellen, people sweat.
Whatever.
Don't
That's a good point. She's also partially covered in fur, so I imagine everyone would sweat, but there you go.
mind him, newbie. New kids aren't his passion.
It's fine. I'm not great with new kids either.
I'm sorry, did you say expression? Wait a second. Let me go back to this line. I'm gonna turn up the volume a bit. I need to hear this character a bit more.
Newbie. New kids aren't his
Hold on.
Kellen, people sweat.
Whatever.
Don't mind him, newbie. New kids aren't his passion.
It's fine.
Okay, so don't worry about him, newbie. New kids aren't his special? What is a special?
I'm not great with new kids either.
Well then, why did you come to Serura Falls?
I am.
Well, I mean, you've got to be a new kid at some point. Just because you're not good at something doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Much like if you're not good at reading a take the first time, read it again. I'm sorry, but why did you come to Seraya Falls? Like, come on. Yeah, see, even like the chat's colors. Yeah, wooden lines, exactly.
Moving schools.
Serura Falls, I've?
That's not what my dad told me.
Well, that's odd. There is only one school here. Oh, you must be an element.
Wait, okay, that feels to me like the lines were spliced together. I think it was meant to be like more of a case of that's odd. There's only one school here. You must be an element. So I guess confirm that this character cannot see them. So yeah, I guess this is a that it is in the conductor seat. Yeah. Which, by the way, most modern buses will have a button to press if you want to, request a stop. So you wouldn't need the conductor to, talk to you. But yeah. Aside from that, yeah, it feels like that line was like possibly like trimmed down. I mean, yeah, it is true that this voice actor is reading everything very slowly on purpose, but depending on the delivery and the pauses in general, especially if you want to make a contrast, you shouldn't necessarily cut out all of the pauses. It's not like William Shatner. Spark! Anyway. I mean, the hardest part of making a gacha person is the hair. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like given that there are I think it was like 12 pages of hair in Gacha Club alone. Yeah, I absolutely agree that that's even just the rear hair. That's the most time-consuming part. Yeah, that's true. The hair, so many options there for the hair. All right. I would say the hardest thing making color that is making the color match. Making matches real hard. I mean, I guess. Well, I think that probably depends on the version of Gacha. In Gacha Club, matching colors are really hard. In not Gacha Club. In Gacha Life 2, matching colors are really hard. In Gacha Club, it is literally the click of a button. But there you go. All right. Yeah, I told you. I'd like, I don't want to sound like a dying moose necessarily. So, Hey, I'm hunched down. This is me singing now. No, we're awful. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like really obvious.
I'm sorry, I forgot about my son for a minute and where he goes.
Oh, that's cool. What's his name?
He really doesn't like me talking about him.
Then why did you bring him up?
So I am afraid I can't tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure
Have I heard many dying meese? I mean, I've seen Matt Meese get hit in the face a bunch of times, if that counts.
he would hate it if you do.
Here it is, newbie. Welcome to Blossoms of Element.
Okay, again, commas. Here it is, comma, newbie. Not here it is, newbie. Here it is, newbie. That's the weather today, I guess. All right, weather forecast today predicts newbie.
Thanks for the ride. Bye.
Well, there's our first spontaneous combustion outside of the intro. I guess, is that just how they operate or something? It's like the Ministry of Magic? Guess not. Okay. Are we just never going to address that? Okay.
Heyo, newbie! You do realize the doors don't open in another 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, first of all, where are the doors exactly? She was walking casually. Second of all, you're right next to her. You don't need to go, heyo, newbie, can you hear me? Like just speak normal volume. I know we're outside, we can use our outside voices, but still, some consideration, please. You've got sensitive ears, even though they're further up on her head.
No, I didn't realize.
You're not just gonna wait over there, are you?
Do I have to do something else?
You can come over and chat with my friends.
Okay, I guess that's fine.
Wait over there. Why does this person care?
Newbie, this is Callan. You don't want to mess with him. He has a short temper.
Oh, so you can whisper, even though you're talking in a close shot with the person right next to you where they can still hear. Great.
And this is Amari.
Hello, newbie.
My name isn't Newbie. It's Amaya.
Newbie fits you well, newbie.
Where'd you get the lyrics? Where? Is it explained why they have wolf ears? It is sort of elemental thing. Yeah, see, this is the interesting thing, because they call themselves elements, which makes you think that they are tied to like one of like the traditional 4 elements. Unless they mean like the periodic table or something, which would be a really fun subversion of expectations, not gonna lie. I can imagine some like BuzzFeed style quiz in this universe. What periodic table element do you most closely resemble? I would say Amaya is probably iron, given her skin deficiency. But anyway, aside from that, yeah, I don't know why they're called elements necessarily. So I think it's the case that yeah, elements have the animal ears and other regular humans don't. That's all we know thus far, at least. I don't know. These are my friends. Hello, newbie. I'm not even. This is not even fed Jacob today. This is just my normal unhinged self.
One has been a newbie, Callan.
I didn't know our conversation would be about new kids.
I mean, you're meeting a new kid actively, so that's probably, that should have been your first indication.
Starting a fight already?
By the way, I love how the one character who's wearing glasses has no nose to support them, and everyone else does.
Callan.
New kids aren't my top priority. So yes, starting a fight would be necessary.
What? Why would that be but just because something's not on your priority does not mean you have to start a fight with someone. It is certainly not necessary. What are you talking about? Uh, yeah, so there's a bunch of new kids here, but as long as they don't talk to me, it should be fine. Not really my priority. I like my close-knit friend group. You know, guys, it's Samaya. Nah, 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 nah. I'm gonna start a fight. You burn teleported temple like 6 feet. You absolute poser. Maybe this is part of like what the well, I guess that is fire related. Maybe the fire elements learn how to use their powers to teleport, and this is like what you learn in school, is how to cover longer distances. Maybe that's one of the lessons behind this. I don't know. I mean, as is the case with any series that's set inside of a school, I am very curious to find out like what the lessons actually consist of, especially if it's a magic school, and that's part of the appeal behind it. We are, however, like 3/4 of the way into this video, so I don't think we're going to get that this episode, but we'll see. I need an element. I don't know. Chats, let's think of an element for Tamsin. What on the periodic table do you think would most closely match? I don't know. I'm thinking uranium, because your character designs seem like they're radioactive sometimes with how bright they are. There you go.
That's not how it... Well, anyway, you'll adjust fast to these guys. They are a load of balls sometimes.
I beg your pardon? Callan is a load of bull, and maybe 2 truckloads of it.
I take that as a compliment.
I mean, that's... It said the correction was the same thing as the... Okay.
Like I said, you'll get adjusted quickly.
Who's crazy today? Look, I rarely ever get a chance to use my knowledge. My chemistry knowledge was one of my best subjects at school. I never get to use that, so I'm using it today. Give me an element. I don't know. You kind of. I mean, you just appeared, so I don't really know you well enough yet. So I'm not sure. You really seem to want to impress your crush, which means you want to bond with someone. So you're not a noble gas. Aside from that, plutonium? Yeah, I guess. Why not? I guess that tracks. You did seem to be summoned out of nowhere, as if without that being the intended result. But the world, things change as a result of your appearance. So yeah, why not? That makes sense.
I guess that will be easy.
Hey, get your camera. Grayson and Ajax are fighting.
Hey, get your camera. This is the fight of the century, and I am excited to report on it. Remember when Jazaxiee said that the voice actor did an exceptional job at this and that saved the mini-movie?
Fist fight?
Fist fight, come on.
Guys, please.
Fist fight, come on. Everyone cheer. Fight, 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 fight.
Don't you dare talk.
Again, I think that was probably in sync, but it's just the StreamYard as the delay, so yeah, watch the original video.
Just like that.
Stop being so stuck up, you treat us.
like how the character just goes, don't you dare talk to a person like that. I'm guessing again, he's meant to be monotone in this case. English guy, he must be a bad boy. Yeah. You do not want to mess with me. I will mess you up immediately with one punch, man.
It's exactly the same way. Now stop being a lowlife and go back from where you crawled from.
Okay, wait. I need to replay that line. I need context for this. Hold on.
Don't you dare talk to us like that.
Oh no, that was out of sync.
Stop being so stuck up. You treat us exactly the same way. Now stop being a lowlife and go back from where you crawled from.
Okay, I thought it was. I thought he was saying, treat everyone the same way, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to treat you worse. But okay, I guess like they both seem to have an exchange going on here. There's not one. It's not one person that's like the moral high ground right now. Okay, got it. Fair enough. All right. You just see, Ghosty wants to be let in. It is. Yeah, it is. The video is almost over, by the way. But yeah, anyway. Go back to where you crumb from. Said Ron to the Durmstrang students. Anyway, here's Ghosty. Whose mic, I guess, is not quite working. While I plug in my computer, let's see if Ghosty can sort that out.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Like, usually I don't complain about voice acting because I understand sometimes new voice actors don't exactly land.
Yeah.
But I think this has got to be the worst example I've ever seen of voice actors completely botching their lines.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the worst example. I've definitely heard some pretty, abysmal performances when it comes to gacha voice acting that are not quite what's here. But like, even if voice actors are new, this is what I say. It comes down to how well the director is able to handle that.
Like, as I pointed out in the chat, go back to where you come from.
Yeah. For example, yeah. There it is, newbie.
Like, it's also the fact that none of the voice actors seem to have inflection in their tones. It seems to have been sucked out of them via vacuum cleaner.
This definitely comes across as first time reading through the script. And, almost every time the first draft either got used or there was only one line that got sent by everyone. And I'm guessing that, again, like it seems like, because like Jazaxiee at the beginning, the announcement said all the voice actors did such a good job. Because with the context that was a text-to-speech rather than the actual Jazaxiee saying that, implying a lack of confidence in her own voice at the time, it may be possible that the mere fact of these characters having any voice whatsoever might have clouded her judgment a little bit when it came to deciding to, maybe this line should be read again. And that being the case for nearly all of them.
I promise, your voice actors are not gonna get mad if you ask them to do retakes.
And if they do, they're not cut out for the industry, quite frankly, because that's like one of the basics that they should expect, especially because like if something is not your own artistic vision, you're going to get pushback from the person whose vision it actually is, aka the director, who most of the time in gacha, even more so, because 9 times out of 10, the director and the writer of a gacha project are the same person, which means they're going to have an extra desire to make sure that something is the way that they want to see it. Unless, again, they're clouded by the mere presence of voice actors. And, like, again, that did almost happen to me at one point, where I did my usual, like, 3-take delivery for a director whose name I've forgotten now. I think the project got cancelled. I haven't talked to this person in years. But they said something akin to, like, can you send me, like, 1 take of these lines instead of 3? And it's like, well, the reason I send 3 is because I don't know what you're looking for. I think it was another classic, like non-script, basically. I think it was one of those. I said, like, I want to see, like you see, what I don't know what you're looking for. So, like, okay, well, what's your decision? And the person said to me, you're the talented voice actor, so you get to. I was like, well, it's not my video. It's like it just did not compute. It was like, why? But yeah, I mean, it especially when you're starting out, it is like obviously tempting to think that like everyone knows better than you, except for the fact that when it comes to art, it's subjective anyway. So if that, like, who knows better what's accurate than the person who, created it, basically. Yeah. Bro, I can't read your mind.
I can't read your mind, Greco.
You're probably wondering what inflection I should give right now. Morning Frost as a voice actor would be very interesting because he's obviously a very like monotone character on purpose, but he still has so like even if he got direction for someone's like mind, it'd be like, okay, how do I do this? If you can't give me your all I don't want is my VA compass. Yeah, I mean some directors of course, are gonna like very outwardly state that. The other ones will be more subtle about it and be like, okay, like I need like this way because of these reasons. That's mostly me. But yeah, especially when it comes to auditions, I will say for a lot of Gacha voice acting auditions that I have run personally, there are some of them that I stop listening to after like 2 seconds, maybe even 1 second. Depending on like how bad someone's microphone is, maybe the 1 second, but like the 2 seconds thing is a case of like, okay, I'm gonna read these lines. This is the character shouting. All right. I'm trying to be quiet because I'm recording this in a room full of people and I didn't think to move to somewhere else. Like, yeah, I get a lot of those. So it's like, if I hear like, hello, boom, you're done. That's it. So,
son, you're gone.
Yeah.
That's also a thing when I'm listening through, like, I'm doing CapCut auditions for some of the, like, exterior Monster Compendium cast that don't show up until later on. And it's like, a lot of these auditioners are very young children. No, thank you.
I mean, yeah, so obviously sometimes it does come down to, like what casting you're looking for. Because yeah, like, like, the voices of young children, because, like, the characters are teenagers, right? So...
Yeah, like, the characters
yeah, so you're
are
looking
teenagers.
for someone who's a little bit older.
Yeah, I'm looking for someone just a little older, like, within their teens, possibly early 20s.
Yeah. Which is how I got Ulrich. But... So, but yeah, like it's like that's a thing where, yeah, it's sometimes you're just not right for a particular role, but you still are, a talented voice actor. That's another thing people sometimes can't come to grips with, especially when they're starting out voice acting, particularly. But yeah, like that's another prerequisite in auditions where it's like, okay, fair enough. I mean, not like I have much of like a high threshold at times, depending on the cast list that I get for certain auditions. But when given various options, it does come down to, okay, like this person is matching more, again, the stage of life that this character is in, or is able to actively portray that. And I know from either previous work or just a general
I typically pick people who match the vibe of what I'm like trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, if you're 7 or 8 applying for a 17-year-old, obviously you're not gonna fly.
Yeah,
that's the criteria.
That's a very difficult thing. Yeah, I think that what the main reason that I cast that I cast Caleb as Coach Morales is the fact that, well, first of all, that like again, Caleb is a DID alter, so already the body that he's in does not match like his voice and age, but also because again, like that was he was able to adapt as a result of that. Once he got over, laughing at some of the more juvenile humor, I suppose, in the lines, and didn't, corpse during the deliveries. But yeah, you'd hire Tamsin to VA an adult then. Depends on the adults, I would guess. Adult voices vary a lot more than kid voices most of the time, because they've gone through a different journey. So you never know. It could be. But actually, Tamsin, again, this comes down to an actor's playing age, which in voice acting is much more vast than in live action. So yeah, like actually, having Tamsin's playing age is probably relatively is much younger than she actually is, but then the range might go a little bit further. So yeah, there you go. Exactly, it could happen.
Say,
Did he just fall in front and then go behind and then pull someone over backwards instead of pushing them forwards? That was a minefield of bad physics right there.
That again.
You first.
Ah, the element of snakes.
Why is there a snake here?
I don't know.
That's not any snake. That's a rattlesnake noise.
Hmm.
Why did you
Well-
choose a rattlesnake noise for this?
I don't know, but considering that this is a duel and there are snakes involved, I have to make the reference. There you go.
Yes, puzzle tongue, also known as gibberish. Jacob, I don't understand puzzle tongue. How can the snakes hear it? They have no ears.
Well, I mean, they make sounds themselves, and I assume that is for a purpose. So,
I assume too, but it's just the fact that if you really think about it, snakes don't have any ears. So how does partial tongue function?
well, how do animals with no ears perceive sound is another question, I suppose. I think it might be more of a vibration-based thing at that point. Which, to be honest, given how like a lot of it's like like slow whisper something, it's like a very particular like vibration frequency, I suppose. So yeah, maybe that's it.
It is.
Maybe.
I won't have this wild boar think it's okay to date my best friend. Stay in your element, Ajax.
I don't.
Stay in your element. Ah. That feels like it's also a gacha title, based on like elemental characters, possibly with a little bit more accuracy towards like what elements tend to actually be, rather than I don't know, animal hybrids. I never thought I would say this, but FAFSA seemed to have done a better job doing that connection than this has, and with fewer 4 ears as well, I think.
don't mind being a freak.
Oh,
Grayson.
FAFSA actually
You know
doing a good job at something?
Ooh. Well, at least a better job. At least they're not good, but better.
It's weird.
Like,
Why be a
FAFSA does
disgraceful-
some things good, but there's also some things it does that it, botches completely. Like the animation.
Yes, as the prime example.
the school and not be normal like everyone else.
I'd probably also say the voice acting I think is better in FAFSA. It's been a while, and I don't really plan to rewatch it anytime soon. But yeah.
Okay, let me mimic this flat delivery. Everyone else.
I need to hit the line again, just like couldn't get what Bond
My dude,
wanted to
my,
say.
my
It's
bro, my
weird.
dude,
Why be
my guy.
disgraceful to
What
school
are
and
you
not
trying
be-
to say to me right now?
Yeah, let's see who he's trying to say, because I want to get Bond's context here.
Why be a disgrace of the school and not be normal like everyone else?
Oh, okay, fine. You go to a boarding school. Yeah. Despite the English accent, I don't think this green hair guy has an English accent. I mean, he might be putting it on. That's obviously a possibility.
There's no such thing as normal, Grayson. Now stop.
I was gonna say, yeah, especially for a school full of elements that are already like ostracized in society. This definitely, honestly, this kind of seems like how like the LGBTQ plus community is like, like internally discriminatory towards like themselves. So just again, you want it's almost like almost like self-isolation, especially when it's self-contained. But yeah, it's a FAFSA review. Okay, yeah. I forgot the context behind that. But yeah.
And what do you think you are to me? Oh, you're a fire element.
Just because I'm a part of the
Okay, I guess. I'm sorry. What is the telltale sign? Is it the hair? It might be the hair.
fire element doesn't mean you just stop. You should stop when you're asked to.
Oh, that's
But
supposed
you
to be
were asked to,
elements?
right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is there a hierarchy behind the different elements? Because like, do fire elements have more of a hierarchy behind them or something? I thought it would be more of a case that different elements would, listen to themselves. Maybe this guy is also a fire element, and and the hair isn't the giveaway. If so, what is? Because I can't tell. I generally don't know what's going on with these characters.
Like, this green hair guy has a leaf in his eyes. Like, I think it's like more so the tone and color palette of their outfit.
Which you would think if they're trying to go with the narrative of people are people, they would not necessarily have the a line and dress like that on purpose. But okay, he has green hair and pronouns. Yeah, if it's the hair, what is the blonde girl? I don't know, Air maybe. It's a lighter tone. I don't know. That's all I can think of.
What is this?
I would question more what the black-haired character is, what elements it would be in this particular case, whatever they would be, because what, polluted water, post oil slick? I don't know. Oh, so wow, I got 2 in syncs.
Kindergarten.
It will if you keep it up.
Keep it up, Grayson. Let's see what happens.
On one hand, I appreciate how the characters aren't staying in a bus queue, but yeah, like the one side of the screen is definitely very cluttered right now. This is one of the few times that I would say, a further away shot would be better.
I think it's a little too cluttered. I'm not too sure here what I'm supposed to be paying attention to.
That's a good point, because I think some of the characters who are speaking are being blocked by the others that are showing up. I think the idea is that people obviously catching on to this, it's getting pressure from all sides to stop. And by all sides, I mean one side physically, but just in general, multiple people showing up and making the situation more awkward and worse. But yeah, beyond that, it comes at the expense of seeing people's, who's actually talking. Did he try to grab onto him, but also fell down himself? What was that?
The lowlives will make their comeback.
The lowlives will make their comeback. One. It is one lowlife.
I'm sorry about him. He's just super uptight.
Don't be sorry, Joshy. I got us in this mess. Oh, hey. Thanks for whatever you did.
Was that character running in fast motion, but through treacle?
I did nothing. I just grabbed his arm.
Well, that's a pretty confident move for a newbie.
I just grabbed his arm.
New kid, huh? Now isn't that interesting?
New kid, huh? Now isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because aren't there several new characters? Is this not the first day of school in general? Everyone seems to think they're a bunch of new kids anyway, and that's such a hassle behind them. If there's one new kid, then why does everyone care so much? Now the main character's VA is losing the yeah, well, the saving graces so far.
What's happening?
Hold on.
I don't know. Seems to be that this character's hiding in the bushes now, ready to scream and shout again.
Up, dude.
What did you just say?
She said, "Hold on, Callan. Let me get my stuff."
That's not even close.
Yeah, do you not like being called dude? What did you just say? Did you call me dude? Please do not call me dude. I will get very offended. Is this character based on Mike Tyson? Why is the delivery so... It's this is the aggressive character, I think, or the short-tempered one. Anyway.
To what I said. Okay.
I guess maybe those two characters are...
That's not even close to what I
maybe?
said. Oh. That's not even close to what I said. Okay.
Now, what was that about?
Look, newbie, I adore
What
your
was that about?
confidence, but you really should stop being so...
I don't, because I can't hear it.
well, amazing. Picking up fights so quickly makes it way too unrealistic.
She didn't pick up a fight. She stopped a fight from happening. What are you talking about?
What do you mean too unrealistic?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's also a good point. I mean, jumping the gun, I suppose, would be.
Are you
better
aware
example.
of
If you had,
what
immediately
meter
starting a
you're
fight.
in?
Probably not. But even then, it's not necessarily a case that it's unexpected. Unprecedented in a lot of cases, but not unrealistic. It can happen that you get a new student and they happen to be, they happen to be aggressive or looking for fights. Not that's happening here because again, she stopped a fight. She didn't start one, but
Weren't you just excited that Grayson and whoever that other guy was in a fist fight?
That's different. They hate each other because Grayson is very strict about people not crossing the love line.
What's so wrong about it?
I guess it's just
Yeah, also, what love line? That's the name of the series, by the way, but what is the love line? Because that has not been established yet.
I
Maybe that's
think
be like,
we're-
well, it's just happened part 2.
Like, I think we're about to find out.
Maybe, well, I mean, the video's about to be over, so I'm guessing I'm going to find out in part 2.
out of the ordinary.
Guys, talk at lunch. You have 5 minutes.
Well then, just stay safe, newbie.
Well, I guess that just happened. Sammy would
I guess that just happened.
love to hear this.
Oh, that was a high at the end there. All right, and that's the end. It just abruptly cuts at that point.
What?
With a lame. I've heard worse as far as title drops go. At least there is, a bit of a mystery behind like what that actually is for us, the audience. It makes a contrast, at least like the first scene where it's like, I can't believe you're going to a school for all elementals. Truth be told, I think Sammy was probably like the best voice actor in this, and was like the first character to speak and also to disappear, which is kind of a shame. But there you go. All right. Well, that was the Love Line Part 1. To you, I will always be the mutant girl. Even then, it still wasn't that loud necessarily. But again, it was something. Okay, that's one part was like I had to really like step in and like coach the VAs through both of those paragraphs, both Pop and Morwenna. Go back to the very beginning actually, because those two were the Gacha tubers that introduced me to Gacha in the first place. So it was like, yeah, I'm now getting you to do like full speeches after reciting Shakespeare. I bet you're happy you decide to voice act for me. Again, the role of a director, very important. That was unique. You cannot waste away. More like a mutant. But wow, that was weak. That was weak. That was a level of state, more like gay. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was unique to some degree, but to be honest, like we've seen a setup of hybrid characters in a school. We've seen the idea of like some sort of hierarchy emerging in some way. What we haven't seen really is too much of like desperation behind like social ostracization. Basically, that hasn't come up to a major degree in a lot of Gacha videos. So again, that would have been nice to explore. But then, I guess as far as like the befriending of friends, enemies, a potential love interest, we've got the friends and the enemies. The potential love interest, I guess, would be the person in the quietest bus crash in the universe. Maybe that was the example. But yeah, like so the objective was achieved. But yeah, the deeper stuff, I guess, because it's split into parts, didn't come through. I'm guessing this was meant to be one big thing, but then Jazaxiee realized like, okay, this is going on for way too long, because I guess this started in September, August time, and then she was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna release this, which might mean that actually might have been one of the first projects that she worked on based on the age of the channel. So I don't know.
Based on the age of the channel and the quality of the products, yeah, this is definitely one of the first projects.
Yeah. Well, we did at least get a little bit of multiple layered sound effects, but yeah, more like a mutant boar, I suppose. We just have a Millhouse Parents problem. Again, also true. I think I did bring this up in the last review as well. Yeah. Well, all these products are VA. The Jazaxiee channel exclusively has voice acted content on it. So, yeah, first VA project is also first project in this instance. That was the Friendless game, but this one is. Actually, when did the Friendless game come out? Let's see if I can backtrack that a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so that was July. So this was potentially the thing that was like worked on right after that episode came out. I'm guessing. So yeah, I mean, again, I guess in terms of the evolution of the channel, that's probably why it does not represent like such a major thing. But again, a lot of it does in fact speak for itself. I don't know if I want my horror gacha thing voice acted or not. And there's definitely merit to making your horror project voice acted because like again, if like. I mean that will help with like with selling the fear of the series. I've always said that it's not necessary to make your gacha stuff voice acted. It just means that if you don't make it voice acted, there's some other things you have to compensate for basically, and draw more focus to in order to account for that. But yeah, I mean, it could work either way. But if you do decide to make it voice acted, make sure that you're willing to step in and keep your original vision on track. Don't be too beguiled by the mere existence of people willing to read a script for you, because reading a script and voice acting are two different things, and nowhere is that better highlighted to at least as of recently than in here. Need a VA can scream so I'd see any VA from my side. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, check out Secrets of the Plex. There's a whole list of people. Yeah. Well, the day is beguiled. No, yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Like, pick anyone from there, because again, that's another horror series that really does go into some dark and scary places, both physically and metaphorically. So yeah, if you don't know, you can click on somebody's somebody's name in a live chat and go to channel. That's what I suggest doing for Bon. But before anyone leaves to do that, be sure to leave a like on this video or dislike, because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you've done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.